Alexa, what is the time and date?
It's Monday, May 25th, 2020 at 10:27 p.m.
And hello, my name is Kristian Naugle. I'm still trying to recover my voice. I missed a few hours of hydration recently, and it's just crazy. I was on track to have it all back 100%, but you go like 2 hours without having any water, and it's like, why lose the voice so easily? Who knows? But I gotta fix that. I used to not be like that. So anyway, this morning I did some guitar practice. I've had some interesting stuff on my mind, learning more about myself and other people, and just learning about human nature and personality characteristics, and just my mind is always so curious to learn things. I treat it like it's a bottomless pit in terms of its capacity, because I have so much curiosity. But anyway, I've been watching some YouTube videos, and it's just really fascinating to learn more about human psychology and human nature and things like that. Learning more about what type of person I am, and learning how to navigate through the world of social interactions and, well, human interactions, really. And been connecting with my feelings more, understanding myself, reevaluating my life and the meaning of it, and it's been affecting my music. I've been noticing a correlation between my personal development and my musical skills. If you watch some of my guitar practice videos on my Nauglefest YouTube channel, Nauglefest, just based on my last name, a lot of it will be monotonous and repetitive, and that's because I'm dwelling on learning something. I'm doing song development myself. I'm not your jukebox. I don't play songs you've heard on the radio. You can go listen to those songs. You go buy your music on iTunes or Amazon or Google, or you go out and support a band that plays music that you like. I'm into self-discovery. I'm into being an artist that paints pictures in your mind using music. I'm not like the music industry assembly line of music. I'm very unique. I'm not like anybody else. Even though it would be nice if I could just fit in and be normal like everybody else, it's virtually impossible. With my psychology and characteristics, I'm just very unique. I've been told before that I'm a anomaly. I'm just some kind of mystery. I agree with that. I feel very much like that. Very unique. Anyway, so why would my music be normal or typical if I'm very unique? I mean, you'll know what type of person I am if you listen to my music. Very melodic, very expressive. I like to be passionately emotional in it. Since I've been connecting with my feelings and doing self-discovery, it's affected my music. And I like it. My music is deeply personal to me. A friend of mine worries about me. Actually, a few friends worry that I'm depressed and that something's wrong because I get really emotional and have been crying a lot lately. But it's not. I don't feel depressed, and I don't act depressed. I don't do depressed kind of things. I don't do any self-harm. I actually do hygiene. I don't destroy or break things. I try to keep them from getting broken or try to fix them. The kind of crying I've been doing, I'm just getting emotional just thinking about it. The type of crying that I do is the type of crying somebody does the type of crying I do is the type somebody does when they witness something so very beautiful, when their mind is very intrigued at the mysterious beauty of something and having a sense of longing and a passionate curiosity for what could have been. That's basically why I cry. My emotions, my feelings have been so disconnected. Not happiness. That's one thing. Laughter, amusement. Oh, that's been very, very active. I've got an articulate sense of humor. That's always been active. But my personal feelings, emotions, I felt like I've been in a emotional coma pretty much all my life. And if you can imagine, like, what it would be like if somebody were living within a dream, like they're in a coma and living within a dream, like their whole life, and never really understanding reality or what they are as a human, because they're in this they're captivated within this prolonged dream state, like they're like almost like a coma or something. But it's debated if people dream while they're in a coma. I don't know. But when it comes to emotions and feelings, like getting really attached to people or having personal feelings for people, especially deep ones, that's where I've been in like a coma for so long. I suppressed my feelings, just buried them so deep that not even I could find them. I mean, that's what it seemed like. I suppressed the way I felt about people so much, and I could not be honest with myself. We live in a world where there's a lot of people that are just not mature. They overreact, and they don't understand things, and they get all panicked, and they lash out at people. And you gotta try to just keep yourself from getting in trouble. You don't take the risk. And it results in a world that is so cruel and cold, viciously cold. And 2011 was a year in which it got extremely cold for me. Really bad. And it made me, it made things even worse. It made me even more emotionally numb, to where I would not personally connect with people out of fear that people would not understand, and then they would just overreact, and just human interactions are just sometimes like a minefield. And you really have to be careful where you step. You don't know if the next step you take will be the last one. You don't know if somebody is just gonna just vindictively just there's some vicious people out there in this world. So I would just bury myself within a shell of my hobbies and my work, and I would never connect with people. And this went on for years, decades. Oh gosh, what is that? That's just one of my friends. Anyway, but yeah, this is just, there's so much I had to learn, and there was, like, like my boss at my job, this is last year in 2019, he raised his voice and yelled at me and told me that my personal problem is that I do not connect with people. He said that I do not personally connect with people, and he's right. I don't blame him for yelling at me. I think he did the right thing. Time will tell, of course, but I think he's right. And I'm really kind of grateful. Thinking back on it, I'm grateful that he did that. I'm glad that he did that because it was I'm glad he did that because it was like my intervention that I was desperately needed in order to get my life back on track and wake up from that coma and finally live life. That coma I talk about, it's like an emotional coma. And he cracked, like he hit that hard shell that I had built up, that I had lived inside of emotionally. He cracked it pretty hard, like with a hammer, when he yelled at me and he told me that my problem is that I don't personally connect with people. And then the crack just started growing when I was around specific people and they would treat me the way that they do. They would show compassion and respect and treat me like a human instead of like some kind of machine that just performs tasks for people. And I was painfully confronted with the fact that I'm a human. These emotions, these feelings that I buried so deeply within me to the point where I could not even find them. Now they're out and they're confronting me. It's almost like they're haunting me. And it's just, I've postponed and delayed that growth process for so long. And now it's rushing. Sometimes people have with their personalities and how they treat me. They are so warm and compassionate and humane, and it touches a nerve within me. And it just like gravity and just vacuums out these feelings. Just they rush out through that crack, and I'm confronted by what's within me. And when I found out what's within me is so beautiful and mysterious. Oh, gosh. Confronted with finding out who I am at so much of a deep personal level. Imagine if you got cut open and you saw your own guts. You would realize that you're mortal. You would realize the gravity of the situation, what you are. You know, you would be confronted with the fact that you're something different, or that you're undeniably aware of what you are. That's what it's kind of like for me. And I like what I see, and other people like it too. That's why I don't feel like this is wrong. Feeling a connection with people. Being humane and kind to people and helpful. And I found out that since I'm articulate, I've been articulate for a long time. I use it in my job to explain technology to people. And for at least 10 years, I like to just talk about food and get people's minds working up so intensely about food to the point in which they can taste and smell it just based on my words that I say. Like, I'm so good at just articulating things because I see things so visually. I mean, I got all 5 senses while I'm dreaming. Like I dream in color. I can smell things in my dreams. It's rare that I taste things because I don't interact with things in my dreams to that extent, but I can feel things. I can feel pain in my dreams. And definitely hear things in my dreams. And it's very difficult to tell my dreams from reality other than the logic of what makes sense to happen. That's how I distinguish it. And based on patterns of and what events mean and things like that. It's extremely unlikely that I would ever be sitting in like a garage, on a couch, just jamming out guitar with Eric Clapton. So when I had that dream about him in 1998, I knew that was a dream. It's like, how likely is it for me to meet Eric Clapton and just hang out with him? I mean, the circumstances are very unlikely. So that's how I know it was a dream, Now, I have deja vu every so often, and sometimes it's powerful. I remember back in, I think, August of 1988, the night before my family and I went to St. Simon's Island off the coast of Georgia. I had a dream that was so realistic about going down, what was it, Mallory Street? You got horizontal, you got Kingsway, goes into Ocean Boulevard, and then Mallory Street, where CJ's Italian restaurant, where they got pizza and all that stuff. And I had never been to the state of Georgia. I actually never even, I think at that time, I don't think I've ever even left the state of Indiana where I live. I think I had always stayed in Indiana, but I had a dream about, St. Simon's Island in Georgia. It was so realistic. That was the night before we drove down there. And the weird thing is, after we got down there at nighttime, the place looked so familiar to me. Just like it was just so powerfully familiar. And just the previous couple nights, I had the dream that I was there. So, I'd never been there, never seen pictures of it, but I had such an accurate dream of what the streets look like at night. And in this dream, I was chasing my friend. He was like running down the street. He was bored. He was going to the pier. And I didn't know why he wouldn't wait up for me, and I never could catch him. And anyway, but now having these emotional outbursts like this, where I'm crying and things like that, is really worth it. It's helped me in my interactions with people. It's removed a lot of the filter between my brain and my mouth, and people like it. I mean, I end up telling people positive things about themselves and observations that I've made, and it's boosted their self-esteem. Because I'm so articulate, and that's why people don't have a problem with what's going on with me. I mean, they worry because they never seen me cry before. And I think it's just decades of suppressed feelings and emotions hitting me all at once is what I think it is. If I had like a normal, somewhat steady release of these emotions or whatever throughout the years, I would not even be in this situation to be just overwhelmingly crying like this. It's just I had a lot of stuff bottled up for so long under pressure, and it's leaking out. Sometimes it's some pretty high intensity. Sometimes I get to crying so much I almost just. Sometimes I get to the point where I'm almost just collapse down to my knees and just cry. And I mean, it might get intense enough to where I just like collapse down to my knees in like the fetal position and just cry. Because things are so real in my mind. But why I don't have a problem with that, why I don't think it's destructive, is because it causes me to be more humane to people. And it makes my music so beautifully expressive. I mean, like, when I just let go of my inhibitions and just flow, like I get a good connection between my feelings and control of my hands, I end up making some amazingly beautiful music. And I'm able to do what I've always wanted to do, and it empowers me to do that. And some people think I should go to therapy. I'm wondering why. Okay, so I cry and get really emotional. What's the harm in that? It causes me to treat people better, and it makes my music very beautiful and uplifting. So why should I go to therapy? I mean, it's just, I'm going through some transformations, and it's really positive. You know, it's like I got a lot of catching up to do in my personal character development. And I've learned that people behave and their demeanor reflects their comprehension level. Well, I can tell you, there's a lot of stuff I did not understand about life and that sort of thing. And while I was in that emotional coma, and that's really responsible for my demeanor. And it's so emotionally overwhelming when I realize, when I look back at my life, and it's confronting me with the realization that there were people throughout my life that were trying to reach me. They were reaching out for me, and they liked stuff about me, and they were trying to emotionally, um, connect with me. They were trying to make some kind of connection with me because they liked something about me, and the shell that I was hiding inside may have felt cold to them. And I gotta make up for that. I gotta fix what's wrong with me. But anyway, let's get this guitar practice done before it's too late. Alexa, what is the time and date?
It's Monday, May 25th, 2020 at 10:55 p.m.
Alright. So anyway, if you like my music, you can follow me online. My name is Kristian Naugle. You can spell that with a K, Kristian Naugle. So you can find me on YouTube. I got a few channels, and anyway, these videos and my recordings end up being like a journal where I'm just trying to keep track of my progress, my personal development, like I just talked to you about, and then my musical development, and really connecting with my feelings, being in touch with them. And these feelings and emotions come rushing out of me, just taking over me and making me really good at the guitar and really proving my theory that my personal character development and my musical development are kind of one and the same, almost like the correlation. When I go back and look at music I've done in the past, yeah, people think I'm talented, but it's just not really emotionally driven. It's not really something you feel within you. I mean, just this energy, this emotional energy, like electrifying or energizing my music, and then communicating it to you, the audience, like what I feel, and then it creates this imagery, so it's like you're there with me in my mind. I think it's really nice. I wish more people did that, but yeah, good luck on that. So anyway, I'm using my Kramer Striker Custom model FR424CM, and the Cherry Sunburst. I'm using DiMarzio Evolution Neck Humbucker, DP158, DiMarzio Evolution Bridge Humbucker, DP159, 24 fret maple neck, Floyd Rose style double locking tremolo. I'm using my Hughes & Kettner Tubemeister 18 guitar amplifier, power soaked to the 5-watt setting. Seems to be a good volume level. Crank it all the way up. Got the bass, treble, and mid in the EQ set all at the 12 o'clock position, pretty much. Or halfway up in every aspect. I'm using the Zoom G1X4 multi-effects pedal for digital delay and chorus. I'm going to start out on the clean channel first. And I'm going to be using the DiMarzio Evolution neck humbucker for the most part because of my moods. When things are just beautiful and elegant and partly mysterious, and especially when I'm romantic and expressive, creating the imagery like that way, like beautiful colored sunsets and things like that, I favor the neck humbucker because that tonality of it really, I think, is, if you can imagine, like a really good paintbrush for portraying those kinds of imagery and those feelings and stuff. Then the DiMarzio Evolution Bridge is when I need to, when I'm more firm, or more intense, like when the mysteries of, like, when I'm pursuing the mystery to understand the mystery of when it's much more aggressive. I do that, or when I need to really rise to a challenge, when I need that performance, when I really get worked up for some things, I use that one. And the imagery for it reminds me of like nebulas in space and the stars in the sky, and just really powerfully captivating, like intense, like urge to understand something. But anyway, let's get started with this. My finger is kind of sore on my middle finger where I've been tapping because I've been doing a lot of it this morning. So I'll try to get used to it. If I play a bit repetitive, that means I'm dwelling on something. And it's like I'm pondering something, examining it again and again. Like where you want, like in a piece of music or a video or something, like you want to play it back again and again to really take in and absorb as much information there is to know about it as possible. Should I do clean or engage the lead channel on this? That's got me emotional right there. Oh, gosh. It's getting to the point where I'm connecting with my feelings so much and articulating it through the fretboard that it just makes me cry. If I get really emotionally worked up and really make the music beautiful, it just gets more intense. These circumstances just pull this out of me, almost like I'm bleeding. It's so beautiful, and that's why I cry, because it's a couple reasons. The thought that the fact that somebody shows me compassion, and that they when there's a connection, it's like gravity, and it's pulling this emotion out of me to be confronted. So when somebody shows me compassion and values my humanity, it's emotionally overwhelming, like I said, because it's so warm, and sometimes the world can be very cold and frigid, very cold, brutally cold, like the way some people are. So there's that, but also when something's so beautiful, it makes me emotional as well. So there's both of that going on. this is improvisation and experimentation. Because I'm still learning the guitar. I'm still learning it. I've been back into the guitar for less than a year. June 21st of 2019 is when I got back into the guitar. So I'm trying to, I know what I feel, I know what I'm thinking, I know what imagery I got in my mind, but I'm trying to connect that with the music that I play on the guitar to then articulate that to you. It's like an artist that has a vision for scenery in their mind, and they have to learn how to use the brush and the paint and their tools in order to replicate that so the viewer can see it. Was a mistake. But that's why I like not having any backing tracks. I like just completely soloing because you hear every nuance that I perform and you hear every mistake that I perform. So it causes me to just be so much more careful. when you got a backing track, there are certain mistakes that are not noticeable, because you got other instruments creating sound. But like this, you really, it helps discipline me, musically. If you enjoy that, I'm glad you did. When I just free flow, I do some pretty interesting stuff. I really have to get in the zone, kind of, really connect with my moods and my feelings, and sometimes my curiosities get going like that, and I don't feel like crying. I feel very happy. It's just really interesting. And by the way, I'm going to do an example of legato, like flowing legato notes, where it's just a nice, beautiful, flowing stream. And that's why I got like a tremolo, like a whammy bar, because you can just slightly dive and you can slur the differences between notes and they really blend together. There's several of my friends that I'm really trying to get them to learn how to play guitar because I got a theory. This theory is that they can actually be better at me than guitar. Sorry, my theory is that they can be better at me than guitar. Sorry about that. My theory is that they can be better than I am at the guitar. I think they can. They just gotta try. As much as it, as much as it seems like I know what I'm doing, because I can make this beautiful music, the reality is it's an illusion. I don't really know what I'm doing. I mean, I don't know all this music theory. I've been away from the guitar for so long, I forgot so much. I mean, it's taken me since, August to really learn this musical scale very fluidly. August of 2019 is when I'd say more like September of 2019. You think I'm good at the guitar? What if you are inspired by what I'm doing on the guitar, and then you decide to pick up the instrument, and then you are just so passionately curious and determined to move forward and see what your potential is and tap into what's within you and follow that and let it control what you play on the guitar, and then you'll end up becoming like me, or maybe even better than me. I mean, just me being better at you. Okay, me being better than you at guitar can be only temporary. I mean, I remember when I didn't have this kind of skill. Go look on YouTube. Go look up Kristian Naugle. That's me. Go look up the stuff I played in the past, in the 2000s. And even last year in 2019, like June of 2019, it's different than, or even August of 2019, it's different than what I play now in late May of 2020. I'm finally able to be more free, freer expression, and explore my potential with music. But you got to be willing to do it, though. that tapping, I was trying to find the right notes that logically fit a mood. That's kind of why I do repetitiveness. I'm trying to see what can be there and bring out the beauty of the music based upon what I'm feeling in my moods. Alexa, what is the time and date?
The time in El Nado is 10:44 p.m.
Alexa, what is the time and date?
It's Monday, May 25th, 2020 at 11:44 p.m.
Oh gosh, it's getting really close to bedtime. I tell you, I really enjoy playing the guitar. It's kind of therapeutic, really. Oops, that'd be nice if I actually, muted that. I mean, it could be therapeutic. I mean, for me, it's like a emotional release. Like I get all emotional and start crying because I make beautiful music, and it's very, very thought provoking. Very kind of. I'm not gonna say depressing. I don't think of it that way. I mean, I don't feel inferior. I don't feel like depressed. I get really curious and kind of longing for something. I don't know, maybe some sadness or whatever. But it's not. It's not depression. It's just. There's a friend of mine up in Idaho that doesn't really. Well, he's just trying to be sympathetic and polite. I'm trying to get him to play guitar, but he's in a different kind of music than I am. He says he wants to play punk rock music, and I'm like, that's so disgusting. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this and got something, beneficial out of it. I know if you watch the beginning of this video, I was really emotional and stuff, and I feel fine now. You can tell by my type of playing that, it's just kind of interesting and intriguing. Whereas this morning on May 25th, I was playing some music and I was crying and stuff. It was just very... My music was telling me a story about myself. It's very deeply personal. Because I had been watching a video. A friend of mine's got me just kind of curious in astrology. We don't believe in it entirely. We only buy into it maybe about 80%. Maybe about 80%. We don't believe it to be absolutely true, but it does make a compelling argument, and it is really a way to kind of understand people. And I can kind of get it, the kind of psychological effects that what time of year and what seasons you experienced had kind of shaped you. Like, colors are very important to me. Like, when I was a kid in the 1980s, there's a lot of colorful stuff, and I really kind of connected with it, But, so, watching these videos and learning, like, that I'm a Pisces. I was born on March 4th, and I originally did not believe in astrology. I didn't take it seriously. I figured, like, how can this stuff really know? And I still don't absolutely believe in it, but it does make a compelling argument when you see a lot of similarities. And really, I look at it as like a system of really, like it was created as a way, like people notice types of behaviors and stuff, and then they made up like a mythology to kind of articulate it and teach it and stuff like that. But I don't believe in fortune telling. It's just, I just don't see the relevance in it. But there are definitely personality types. Even science can notice that people have certain kind of psychologies about them and stuff. But like, I was watching these videos from these astrologists, and when they talk about a Pisces, yes, I am very Pisces. Not just that, I'm eccentric, I'm very, well, actually, they say Pisces are creative, and yeah, I'm very Pisces, and that's what my music was about this morning, and it was just like, yeah, that internal conflict that a Pisces has, that's definitely me. That's why there's two fish swimming in opposite directions. It's just all this was, like the astrology was just a way of articulating and expressing what was found out about people and their personalities and stuff. So anyway, and of course it's not absolute, but the general tendency, yeah, I'm definitely a Pisces. Um, and But yeah, that was. And then as I was thinking about this video, and then these videos I was watching on YouTube from these astrologists, and then it was painting a picture in my mind, like my feelings, my thoughts, and my curiosities, and my sentiments, and all that. And that's why, on May 25th, 2020, when I uploaded that video, and I got that beautiful scenery of like the sunset with purple and orange and pink and golden yellow in the sky and the sunset, and there's like the water on the beach or the palm trees, and there's like the moon and the stars in the sky. Yeah, I was feeling like that. I was feeling like a fish in like those kind of waters, these turquoise blue waters, and this realm, like the Pisces world, like what it's like to be a Pisces. And yeah, it's like I said, there's all kind of things I gotta learn about myself. And I guess since I was born in the middle of the Pisces time period, March 4th, maybe that's why I'm like very, very Pisces or whatever. A friend of mine understands this kind of stuff a lot. Well, she sees the truth in it because she's Aries. It's just fascinating to learn about one's own self. I mean, I've been studying myself for years and getting to know myself, and then when I found out about what a Pisces is and how they are, it's like, oh my gosh, that is me. But anyway, I'm gonna have to end this recording here pretty soon and go to bed. So, once again, my name is Kristian Naugle. Hopefully you enjoy the music I make. Hopefully you're inspired by it, just like other people have inspired me. I mean, I was just intensely curious about what's possible and just learning to grasp things. For me, it's like the process of learning and reaching for that capability, and I see it's obtainable. So I just get so curious, I see what's possible. I see what I achieved. Well, okay, I'm aware of what I don't know because I see it's possible because other people do something. Let's say like play a song or do some kind of anything. Designing landscape or something like that on a piece of property. I mean, you just see what's possible, and then and you might not know how to do it at the time, but then you see that it's possible because somebody else did it. And then you pay attention to the details and like what was done in what kind of context, the attributes of something, and then the context in which these attributes occur, and then it just kind of shapes your mind. And once you understand the principle in which things operate, then you're able to achieve. Like for me, tapping technique and trim screams were mysteries. mysteries to me for like 20 years. I did not understand it. And now look, I do it now. I mean, if you look at me in 2019, I did not know how to do tapping technique. And then there's a video of me when I learned how to do the trim screaming. And just the principle, you just create a harmonic, and then you control it with a whammy bar. It's not that hard. But for 20 years, it was a complete mystery to me. But then I paid attention to the principle of it, and then I was able to do it. And I think you can do the same thing. You know, just because I'm whatever level of skill you think that I am, just know that there was a time when I was not that good. And because I learned to do it, I'm confident that other people can learn. You know, because I thought it was impossible for me to do it too until I did it. So that's why I got faith in you. You gotta apply yourself. You're gonna have to learn how these things are. You're gonna have to watch and observe a lot. I watched a lot of videos on YouTube of people doing stuff and just absorbing it. And it's taken me time, but I'm getting there. And I think you can too. You just gotta your expectations have to match reality, or else you're going to be frustrated. So until next time, hopefully you enjoy this and you got something out of it.